you can see this. I'm outside. You can see my shadow. But okay, this is what you're going to need to make your cute little dog treat string art wall decor thing. A piece of wood. What I got, I think this is a 1-inch. You can literally get anything that you want, but it has to be thick enough and hardy enough to hold nails. So these are the nails I got. Most tutorials just say nails. These are the ones that I got, and they seem to work great. And then I stained my wood with this. And I actually got, my husband gave me like an actual staining sponge to use with. You're going to need the things to hold it on the wall. I ripped the thingy off, but this is what they look like. And everything's falling out. Hooks to go on the bottom to hold your keys and your leash or whatever. The paw prints I will put on my website. I'll put a link to it so you guys can just print it out. You don't have to search for it. Because the one I printed out was like on an 8x5, so I just decreased the size. You're definitely going to need pliers so you don't smash your fingers. A hammer. This string, my sister made string art with this color already, so I thought it would match perfectly. And then this is for her dog, Nikki. And then you're going to need a clamp to hold it up on the board. And then I'm going to see if I can, if I distress it a little bit, if it'll look cute. If it doesn't, I'm going to stain it again. But I'm going to try that. So step 1, if you want to stain your wood, I actually got this piece of wood at Home Depot when it was in the clearance section because it's not perfect. But I think that's what gives it some character. So you don't have to get anything expensive. And by the way, I went to Walmart the other day and they have a really good selection of wood that you can do crafts on, like pallets or just boards. Great place to go. And it's super cheap, $4 or $5. So why don't you get all this stuff together and I will show you what to do next. Okay, what you're going to do next is you're going to print out your templates and cut them out like so. And then I tape them to where I wanted them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my jar in the middle. So I kind of just put them kind of sideways up on top. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your nails and you're going to start nailing in. And you don't want to make them too close. I made a mistake by doing that in my string art class. I made them way too close and then it's just way too much work. So let me hammer in some in and then I'll show you what mine look like. Okay, so this is how far apart, I mean they don't have to be perfect. So you're going to kind of follow the outline here, you are going to follow the outline of your paw hair. And the same thing with your imprints or your, I don't know, what do you call those, toes? Who knows? So you're going to do that on both. And then when you're done nailing all your stuff in, you're going to take your paper off. So let's do all our nailing part. So this is what mine look like. Like that. So they're not all perfectly spaced, and I think that's okay. That's what makes it cool. And it's all, whoa, and that's all handmade. And then literally you just take the paper off. Stinking camera, stay. Okay, so you've taken off the paper and it's gonna look like this. So you've got the outline of your paw and then the little paw nail pads, whatnots. So then you're gonna take your string and where's the beginning? Okay. So what I'm going to do, what you do, they always say start in a corner, but this really doesn't have a corner. But it has the kind of a corner on the edge here. So what you're going to do is you're going to tie it. Literally just tie it. And there's some people, what they do is they first do the outline. And then they start doing the threading. I like to do the threading first, and then I do that outline. Just to me makes it look kind of cleaner. And then there's really no rhyme or reason to this. You just kind of start going back and forth. And make sure you just do it on your paw, and make sure that it's kind of taut and that none of your thread is coming out, like pieces of your thread are popping out, because then it's gonna be really hard for you to go back and put it back on. So I gotta remember where my paw ends and where it begins here. Ah, see? Okay. So now you got to a part where I can't really zigzag anymore. So then what I do, oh, it kind of broke, oh no it didn't. I just kind of start going crisscross back another way. Like I said, there's really no rhyme or reason to this. You just want to make sure it's tight. It's tight. Okay, so there's one line, paw and paw. Okay, I just have to remind myself. Okay, so I'm back to kind of like square one, because this is the paw print part right here. So then, again, you start going back and forth. Oh, come on. You can always push your thread down a little bit so you can put your other thread on top and it doesn't keep coming off. And that's why you want to get nails with like a little lip on them. Sorry, I'm doing this outside with my kid. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm back again, kind of like no rhyme or reason. And see how the paw's kind of making its shape here. So which way am I going to go now? Maybe this way. So that's pretty much all you do until you get to the point where you think you have enough. And you know, it depends on how full you want it. I think I'm going to do mine kind of full. I do have a whole thing of yarn. So once you've done your string art to how you want it, okay, this is how you're going to do your border. You're going to go around your nail. You're going to go around the next nail. Go around. Go around. Go around. So you wrap your thread around each nail. I'm getting hungry. Okay, so keep wrapping it. Oh, I guess I should have told you to get scissors too, because you're gonna have to cut your access off. Okay, and I think this is where we started, right? In a second, Boo Boo Bear. Okay, I don't know, I forgot my scissors. So you're gonna, what you're gonna wanna do is tie it. So you kind of make a loop, put it around your nail, and tighten it. This thing is about to drive me bananas. You might want to do that like to your next nail just to make sure you're... I don't have avocados, boo-boo. Again, so you kind of make a knot like so, wrap it around and tighten it. You might want to do that a couple times, so there. And you just trim off the excess, and there's the bottom of your paw. Oh, it kind of looks like the bottom, huh? And then you're going to do that to this, and to all your other stuff on there. And then I'll show you how to put on your glass jar for the doggy treats. Okay, so this is how mine came out. And I forgot to say, you have to grab a screwdriver for this, and a screw that's going to be thin enough to go through these holes. So,
for the holes?
And you might first have to see how tight and see where you're going to want it. So, grab a screw and a screwdriver. Okay, so what I did is I put my clamp around my jar and I tightened it so I know exactly where the teeth in the back are for the nails. The nails are going to go in the back here just so it doesn't mess with this part. So, I think that's pretty good. So then, so it's going to go here. So my nails are going to go right here, or somewhere in that vicinity, and then loosen it up. Do not ride that. Get off. Okay, and I couldn't find any screws that fit, but I thought smaller nails than the ones that we used, the screws weren't going to fit, so I had to get smaller nails that were going to fit through the hole somewhat, because I don't want to drill this whole entire thing. So I marked it right there, so that means it's going to be right here and right here. And I'm going to make sure I nail it correctly. Ah! So I want it kind of in the middle here. Okay, so after you've hammered in your nails, I put 2 just to make it a little bit more sturdier. You put your thing on and you tighten it up. Okay, so now you're going to put these hooks on the bottom here, wherever you want them. I suggest, hopefully, getting a drill and drilling a hole. I've usually just kind of did it myself with my hands, but to make it a lot easier for yourself, drill a hole and hang these on the bottom here. On the bottom right here of your thing. Okay, so you've done your hooks. Literally, I just did this with my hands. So, unless you have like some really bad hard piece of wood, you might have to get a drill. The last piece is to put this on the back. And I would suggest taking this off when putting that on. Oh my goodness. Sweetheart, you are not a very good listener. So take your glass off and then put the backing on your, okay. And there is your creation. How can you guys see it? There we go. And by the way, this is a Prego's glass. So I didn't even buy the glass except for the sauce that was in it. There's the hooks. There's the backing. And I can't post this till after Christmas because this is a gift. So hopefully you guys have somebody to give it to just because, or make it for yourselves. Okay, well, I will hope you guys liked the tutorial, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.